Internet. Welcome back to Tabletop Tuesday and the Squire Squad. We're here with some more masks. Last week we didn't have one of our normal games because it was my birthday, and all of us and some other friends were doing Jackpot games and Gartic Phone and stuff, and that should be up on our YouTube soon if it's not already. Lots of fun there, especially the drawing portion of the evening. But yeah, you just saw our intro video, which tells you a lot of what we do on this channel. Fortunately, the channel has been a little bit dark as of late because of, people have stuff going on in life, which they do, and that happens. But yeah, so it's mostly been this crew. I did do a stream last week to put together one of my birthday presents, which is this little papercraft sloth, which I have since finished up off stream. And now I got to figure out where he's going to live in my apartment. But you should be able to also see the first part of that. Okay. Got to make sure he's not going to fall over and fall apart or anything. But yeah, it's mostly been us. Based on what is happening with the channel, the best way to know when we are doing things is follow us on Twitter and follow us, come join our Discord. Especially the Discord. That is where you will always know when we are doing things because we'll post about it. We've got some friendly robots who help announce that sort of stuff. If you're watching this, you probably know how Discord works. You get it. But if not, we've got the links on our page and on our Twitter. And all the stuff is G Game Nights with 2 G's and a K. So yeah, we might have something this Thursday. It's probably not going to be Elegant Creatures because we'll still be down a few cast members, but maybe something to replace it. And it sounds like maybe by this Sunday, we may be back to our regularly scheduled programming. Again, lots of maybes. Follow us on social media so that you know when things are happening. Yeah, that's it for channel stuff. Let's go around and introduce ourselves, shall we?
Me first, yeah? All right. Yeah, David, you can see me here on Tuesday nights playing Chrysalis / Kevin tonight, the Transformed. And on other Tuesdays, I am the GM of a Cthulhu-esque game that we play. Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm LV Hack'em Up. You can find me at LV Hack'em Up on the Twitters and the Twitches. Tonight I'll be playing Corvid, aka Subrina. She is the outsider, and on other Tuesdays I play a different character, which we're almost done with the Burbs. I'm excited. I hope we win. I hope we die, and then we don't die.
Winning in Eldritch Horror.
There's not losing. That's me.
Hi, I'm Z. I am at Necromancy on Twitter. I am playing Rosario or Roz or Fragment. Tonight she is the Scion playbook. And I'm just happy to be here.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be playing as Chloe tonight, also known as Hemlock. She's the Doomed playbook.
And I'm Alex, OMG, some guy on the internet. I'm running this show tonight, God's help us all. You can also find me on the internet here, Tuesdays. I'm also playing in the Burbs, normally on Thursdays, and then also when we have our Mistborn games on Saturdays here. And then Sunday nights, I'm playing in a Masks game on LB's channel. But we're here tonight on this channel playing Masks, and previously on the Squire Squad. We picked things up with a tense and confusing confrontation as Hemlock and Fragment both tried to stop each other from being vigilantes. The rest of the squad got called in for backup, Kevin being the only one who knew everyone involved and sorted things out. This resulted in the decision to finally bring Roz into the Paladins, get her properly inducted in the system as a squire so that she wouldn't get in trouble for her vigilantism, which, maybe not super thrilled about, but it's done. You're now a squire. Yeah, that's that. Sabrina and Chloe had some conversations as well about Chloe's vigilante acts and Sabrina's life changes, and the concern that Sabrina's friends had for her. Sabrina seemed to think things were handled and fine. Narrator voice, it was not fine. But they're all teens. They're moody. They, life is fine one day and then it's over the next. And yeah, so, teenager things. We've been there. Let's see what else. So once Roz was properly brought onto the team, it was suggested that you all start doing some training exercises to help figure out how you would work as a team in the field. So you all engaged in the simulation room to fight the villain known as Cerberus, a three-headed grizzly bear / hydra creature capable of spawning grizzly bear minions. The team worked pretty well together despite their conflict the other night when they were on opposite sides, but they even figured out some good combo moves and seemed to be getting along pretty well there. On the way after that, they were going to go hang out at the arcade when Subrina finally decided to let her foster parents know where she is and learned that her machine that she uses to contact her home world had been, beeping constantly. And so she rushed home to see that and, mostly reconcile with her parents. And found a message from home saying that they are assembling technology for a portal, but need some assistance from her. And so she called in Kevin to get his help in figuring out some of that science nerd stuff, knowing that he would know it better than she would. Meanwhile, this left Chloe and Roz at the arcade alone, and Roz kind of confronted is a strong word, but asked Chloe what she thought about some things on the Hero Wiki that many of you are aware of and have entries on yourself, and her status as a former sidekick / minion to a villain, Roz's own mother. But Chloe seemed to be understanding and recognizing that, Roz is a different person now. And then they, played arcade games, and that seemed to go pretty well. And so that brings us to tonight. It's been a couple weeks since then, and summer is unfortunately over. It is now your senior year of high school, and I can never remember what the high school is called or what the mascots are or anything, but you're back in school, and you're all in the same homeroom class. So you all get at least that check-in with each other each day. And, given that it is the start of a new school year, Roz, this is your first time in this school. There's not going to be a big old, hey, here's the new kid, because it's just the start of the school year. But people are recognizing that, like, hey, you haven't been around before. So I guess
there may not be an official announcement, but Roz definitely dressed to impress and is doing that like, oh yeah, I'm a foreign exchange student thing.
But before we get there, actually, what do any of you coordinate for the first day of school, or any of you? Yes, Selby?
It is the Port Central High School, and
High School.
our mascot are the Nervous Lobsters.
Excellent.
I wrote it down.
That's the best. Most mascots are like, we're the raging typhoons. No, we're just the anxious lobsters.
Yes. Longtime viewers of the channel know that when I'm a player, my notes are impeccable and an encyclopedia for the show. When I'm the GM, it's, I don't know, I just open my mouth and bullshit comes out.
Also, I want to say that my drawing of the lobster is pretty choice. Oh,
Nice.
it's not gonna focus. That's good though. It is good.
I
I'll just
the spirit of it.
yeah. Also,
Maybe
this is
later
when my
you can-
notes were colorful.
And then Sabrina went goth.
Yeah.
But maybe you can take a picture and put it in our Discord later
There you
if
go.
you remember. So yeah, it's start of senior year at Port Central High. Are any of you, getting into the nervous lobster spirit? Or how are you approaching the start of your senior year?
I already said mine. but-
Sabrina has showed up in like a black fishnet top with like a red corset with black boning, and then like a black skirt and like thigh highs and like those really big chunky shoes.
All right, yeah, you definitely get some head turns, especially for people who, had passive familiarity with Sabrina before and
She's very
remember,
friendly. So.
pastel goth Sabrina, and is
Mhm.
now, oh, she's like goth or punk goth now.
Mm-hmm.
But people are still saying hi to you in the halls. You get a couple double takes and maybe some nervous glances, and pass by some poor freshmen who are simultaneously intimidated and inspired by you.
Thanks. I'll just go sit down and start reading a book in my homeroom.
Yep. What you reading?
Oh My Goth. It's a book that I read in high school. Do you know what I'm talking about? Please, no. Okay, I'll
not
post it in the
familiar with
Discord.
Yeah. All right. So Roz is also there, turning some heads and getting some
Oh, yeah.
looks, and
Oh yeah, she's doing that like I came from Europe, so I'm like dressed up. And like like how they kind of dress fancier than we do. Like even their casuals, like nice. That's what she's doing. And she's got like makeup on fleek. Looking great.
though you
Being hot.
do absolutely go to the wrong room a time or two because you don't know this school yet.
Yeah, but it was on purpose.
Yeah. What about?
She'll also just like flirt with literally like the nearest cute person and just be like, oh, I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. What, do you know where this room is? My next class is geology or whatever class it is in senior year. Physics.
First there's a homeroom, and kind of looks at your schedule and gets maybe a little closer to you than you would hope, but you are being flirty.
Perfect.
So you just go down that way, and second door on the right.
Thanks. Do we have any classes together?
Goes to check their schedule, and it just falls out of their hand, and it's like, and they just blush and flee at this point.
Perfect. My work here is done. And I will go to my class.
What about Chloe or Kevin? Yeah.
Is late to her first class because she showed up early to get to work on getting the greenhouse back in working order. She just like worked in the greenhouse for a bit, got a little bit carried away, and then had to get changed to get to her first class.
Yeah, and as you are up there just working, there's kind of a tune, First you think maybe you're humming it to yourself, but no, you're not humming. The sound is definitely coming from around you. There's no one else around.
I think that's part of the reason why she is so late. She spends a long time trying to find like wherever that music is coming from.
Yeah, but once the bell rings, the humming stops, the tune stops, and you realize, oh shit, you're late. And how much does Chloe hustle to get to class on time, or does she take her time?
she'll hustle, and I think that she'll accidentally show up in some like dirty boots and like track dirt down the hall.
Yep. Yeah, as you finally get into homeroom and the teacher is, doing attendance, notes your entrance, says, "Good morning, Chloe." Kind of sighs a bit at the dirt and just, points you to your seat, to a seat. I don't know that. Well, no, it's the first day. Y'all probably would have assigned seats, mostly for the teacher's sake, if I'm being honest. The teachers need to know where the kids are so they know who's who if they don't know the kids. Teacher pro tips with Alex.
Yeah, just self-consciously, like, wave and head to the seat.
And Kevin, what have you been doing this morning?
I think I just got to school really early, and I mean, not super early, maybe like 20 minutes early, and I've just been waiting around in the classroom as I have nothing better to do and I don't need to eat or anything beforehand. So
yeah, you are probably there when Subrina arrives, and time for you two to have a brief scene before anyone else shows up.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. School.
Any word from your out of town guests?
Not yet.
When they're gonna show up? Okay.
But I've heard that's probably gonna take a while.
Oh, okay.
It's
true.
New technology.
Yeah. I guess it's not quite as easy as just driving over.
Yeah. I mean, the first time it was an accident, so it's gonna be hard to replicate.
Still, I feel like there's some answers waiting for us at CERN, but
I mean, if you want to go to CERN, we could go to CERN.
Would they just let us?
Could they stop us?
I mean, probably.
Wouldn't know until we go. No, we.
All right.
I mean, I might be able to schedule us a visit. Like, I did live there for a while.
It's true.
Yeah, but it might take a while for it to actually go through, though. Lots of procedures and all that. But maybe someday.
Okay. We'll see if it becomes necessary, I guess.
Yeah. How was the rest of your summer?
It was good. Yeah, nothing overly eventful. Haven't figured any stuff out yet from things I was looking into, but...
Well, that's good. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. I just, I'm ready for... be done with school.
Yeah? I don't know. I kind of feel like I've finally gotten into a groove with it, and it feels weird that now is when we will leave. But, it's fine.
Well, I mean, we do have a whole nother year, and you're probably going to go to college, right? You're super smart.
I mean, I suspect, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are you not going to college?
I'm probably going home.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the plan, right? I mean, that's the goal. I guess. Mm-hmm.
It's true. Real quick, did we tell anyone that we gave your people coordinates to Earth?
I mean, my watchers know, so
they know
Yeah.
Cut to Danae and Tyler just like going nuts in a laboratory. Like there's a general ordering them around. Like they're scrambling the jets.
Maybe.
So I assume the FBI know. I don't know
Okay.
how much they're sharing, but
Probably all of it. So,
if they just show up, then, there's that. But I don't know. I doubt they'd come without, like, any sort of, like, warning. Unless things go wrong and the exact same thing happened to me that happens to someone else.
and you all have faster than light travel, right?
I think so. We had really fast ships.
Okay.
I was a kid, remember?
I feel like I would have known that, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was more worried about, like, painting and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, I know we have really fast ships, but I don't know. And, like, I don't even really know what my dad or what my parent was working on, so... Obviously some sort of interstellar dimensional thing, I don't know.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that, I think, I don't know. I think the likelihood that there's just a portal that opens up, maybe this part of the conversation is just being telepathic.
Fair.
That just opens up on Earth. I don't know how good their ability to like do precise coordinates would be, but it would be very, very hard to hit Earth based off of pulsar coordinates. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have telescopes good enough to see us. Then I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, like the Earth is spinning and flying through space at like bajillion miles an hour, so it might be a bit difficult. I assume so.
Yeah.
Another of your classmates walks in and just sees like what appears to be just an intense staring contest between you two. Should I leave, or are you good?
We're about to make out. You might want to go somewhere.
Can you even do that? Sorry, yep, and just steps back out the door. But like a minute later, more students come in, and the teacher soon comes in, and yeah, I think soon enough y'all get started with homeroom. Yeah, so for many of you, you've done this 3 times at this school before, and so you know what it's like. Roz, for you, it's a little interesting. Probably different from what the schools in Europe were like, but it's almost like, given the caliber of the high school you all are at, it's almost collegiate in that it's like y'all are seniors now. We're assuming many of you are going off to college, and so it's like a syllabus day, and certainly at least in homeroom, it's just like, make sure you all know where your classes are. If you need help, let the teacher know, and we can help you. And especially for any new students, kind of pausing, looking at Roz, but again, not making a big deal of like, you're the new kid, let's trot you up to display in front of the whole class. Been watching too much anime lately, and that's what they do all the time. There's a new kid, we don't need to do that. And yeah,
tell us 3 things about yourself.
And so at a certain point, the teacher stops what they're saying and it's like, okay, now it's time for the morning announcements, and turns on the TV in the room, and it's kind of the the school-wide broadcasting system, a better version of what they do in the new Spider-Man movies of that. Bless them, but that is a poorly produced school news segment, but something along those lines, just like, welcome back to a new year, lobsters. We're ready to go. This is going to be the best year ever. And those of you who were there before, they say that every year. And yes, there is indeed someone in a lobster suit just kind of like dancing in the
It
background.
has the most nervous eyebrows.
Yeah, just like, just the
It's got,
most
like, the
concerned
eyes,
eyebrows.
And then like the eyebrows are on springs, so they just go like doing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's so they've got that, and because it's the first day, they have an actual person in the nervous lobster suit, but other days they just have like a graphic of it just kind of like rotating back and forth. But yeah, and they run through the run-of-the-mill stuff. There's a brief message from the principal and the dean of students, and some of the school clubs that are already trying to recruit new members, things like that. But soon enough, homeroom is over and you all split off to your classes. You all can tell me if you have classes together with each other. That's up to you. But for the most part, today is going to be going over summer assignments that you all had, and again, kind of syllabi and what to expect for the coming year.
I think that Kevin and Sabrina had like math and science together because we were like in the advanced stuff, which I pulled back on Sabrina being so smart on science because LB is not so smart, but she is very smart on science and math.
Sure, yeah. Yep. So yeah, you two end up spending a good chunk of the day together because especially as seniors, it is kind of like trying to put you on, like, you can start specializing your classes. Like, you do still have the sum where it's like, yes, you need 4 years of English and, all that stuff, but, you can start having specialized schedules at this point in your high school career. I'm trying to think if there's anything we should cover with this or how much is my latent teacherness is bleeding through.
Well, I will say that Roz is all day busily planting seeds of popularity, like of just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm gonna be, like, I'm assuming Jade's power vacuum, like, I'm gonna be the most popular kid at school.
Yeah, God, let's see. I think this is gonna be a mundane role. I
haven't done. Wait. Oh no, that's not me. I'm not actually the James. Sorry. Let's do it. I have a -2 to that.
So we'll see how this goes.
Unless I am going to affirm my identity. Once per session, I can do that because of my mask.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch my mundane with my mask's label, which just so happens to be savior.
All right.
So instead of -2, I'm going to give myself a +2. Thank you.
Okay.
Because this is very important to me. Here we go. That's a full hit, baby. That's a 12, baby.
Now, I do believe this means that for now, like, your mundane is now 2 and your savior is now -2.
Yes.
And you're going to have to, work to get those labels back.
Oh yeah.
But yes, that is a 12. So yes, Roz, you are, you have the confidence that even among the 5 of us here combined, Roz has more confidence than that. And it's just like, yes, I am the popular kid now.
I do that High School Musical thing of like dramatically going and signing up for the fencing club in front of like everyone.
Oh yeah. And yeah, so again, the seniors, you get kind of a special schedule because like what you're doing by this point, which is ridiculous that we expect 17 and 18-year-olds to know what they want to do with their life by now. But you all have a very good support system. This is a world where the public education system works, damn it. And so you have the support and guidance that you need. But so a lot of the afternoon is left for you to like meet with guidance counselors and sign up for clubs and, otherwise just socialize, things like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Wings, but I think as the others kind of go past, they find that their names have already been signed up for the Greenhouse Club. And like I think Sabrina and Kevin had been signed up from last year, but Roz, your name is on there now too.
Yeah, I think Chloe would go forward with that.
Yeah.
Literally like John Hancocking her name on fencing and then sees it's written in a completely different handwriting on gardening. Like, okay.
Like, literally green gel pen.
Yeah, but yeah, and so through as the day winds down, through your school emails, you get a message of like, you get all the welcome to this club messages, and I think, Chloe, what would you send to the others for gardening? And I guess, do we want any NPCs to show up for gardening, or is it going to be a very tight knit club? Should we roll for?
Wait.
Let's roll to see if anybody else shows up to garden club.
Okay, because I have an idea. If they do.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Does that idea have anything to do with your roommate?
No.
Oh wait,
Or
no,
my
that's an adult.
coworker?
He's like 24.
Okay, yeah, no, right. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
It's just giving me that guy vibes. Yeah, let's roll for it. What should we roll?
I think this is just gonna be a flat 2d6, which you do have on your sheet as a button.
Two. Oh, yeah, sure enough, it just says flat 2d6.
Yeah, for custom rolls like
Off
this,
it
while we're
goes.
just doing some bullshit.
7.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
7.
what was we didn't
What does-
decide if it was like
what does
we're
that
good
mean?
if it's a hit or
I mean,
think there are 7 other names on the gardening club list of like people who signed up, but whether how many of them are going to continue to show up after the first week, that's the question.
I got it.
because
we
I was
want-
worried.
Yeah. I think as like right after school, Chloe's probably up there already. I don't want to speak for your character, but I assume that Chloe.
that makes sense.
So Sabrina kind of walks up and is like, "So, did you have anyone else sign up?"
No, of course not. No, wait. Looks at list. Oh god. 7.
Do we want other people in this club?
It's gonna be suspicious if we kick them all out.
Well, we don't have to kick them out. We could just make it undesirable for them to come back.
That wouldn't be hard.
Okay. Do you want to handle it or do you want me to handle it?
Well, what do you have in mind?
I was gonna scare them off with sexuality.
Oh. For some people, that's not gonna work.
What do you mean? Everyone I've been, like, in a relationship with has been scared off, so, like...
Oh my god, Sabrina. You have no idea how hot you are.
No, that's the point. I'll just cinch my waist a little bit, make my boobs bigger, and, like... be really scary sexy.
You know what? I think I got it.
Okay.
I'll let you know if I need help.
Okay. Sabrina goes into, like, the corner, kicks up her feet, crosses her legs, and just starts reading.
Bless.
Yeah, and again, because of kind of like the afternoon's setup, club leaders like Chloe, are expected to be at their club the whole afternoon for people to stop by at various points. And so, you have most of the 7 people who signed up, and they all did sign up after Roz's name was on there. And so maybe there's something happening there, but a few of them swing by just to kind of check it out. Many of them are, ambivalent at best. You got a couple who are like, oh, this actually seems cool. And some, stick around hoping to get, a peek at Roz. Somewhat. Oh, God. How many of them? Some of them are, again, intimidated by Sabrina's appearance. Some are inspired by her appearance. I think you all have a precious baby freshman who has shown up and is just super eager to help out. What should this freshman's name be?
Jimothy.
Jimothy, yep.
Poor Jimothy was never going to have a chance with Roz anyway.
You don't know that. You haven't met Jimothy yet.
Are they female?
He's the smoothest 14-year-old you've ever met.
Yes, that is also a good point, Roz. He is not so yeah, he was doomed from the start as far as Roz is concerned. But not as doomed as Chloe. Ayo. Let me just make sure I have it in my notes that Jimothy is a precious freshman. I almost said freshest freshman.
He is the freshest freshman I've ever seen.
Yeah, but do any of you, aside from Roz and fencing, do any of you sign up for other clubs? Or are you just like, you're superheroes? The gardening club is mostly a cover for you all to hang out together at school anyway. You don't need other extracurriculars.
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I already got fencing. I had to
Don't
for my
need anything.
mask.
So, over the course of the afternoon, you all hang out at the gardening club, and you have some of the others come by. Jimothy and some of the others are, barely keeping their jaws from dropping at the sight of both Roz and Sabrina, did you make those body changes that you mentioned?
No, but she doesn't really have to.
Yeah. Some, probably one of couple of Jimothy's friends who came along with him are just like, they cannot stop staring at one or both of you. One of them is also very impressed by the shiny Kevin.
Which one's impressed by shiny Kevin?
I think we'll say Jimothy, but you can tell from Jimothy it's more of an academic, but not like clinical interest. Like, he's not dehumanizing you in assessing you, but it's more just like, wow, you're a very interesting individual. I would like to know more about you. But again, this is precious baby freshman. Up to you how much you want to engage, being 4 years his senior. But yeah.
Knowing that this is like our secret hangout time, undercover.
I will remind you all, this is technically the Doomed Sanctuary that Chloe has.
Technically,
Which
yeah.
reminds us what your
Is one of the
traits of it are.
downsides? Yeah. Can we go over that?
Well, let me go over the downsides real quick. Well, first of all, here are the benefits of my sanctuary, my doomed sanctuary. Tomes, useful tools, art, music, and food. The two downsides are known to many and easily accessed and tampered with. Whenever I want to call upon the resources of my sanctuary to solve a problem, the DM can give me 1 to 4 requirements that I must fulfill to complete the solution. I feel like the fact that this is the gardening club and there is almost certainly going to be one person always in the gardening club that just won't leave, that would be a good source of conflict for those requirements.
Precisely.
Well.
Yeah. And that is it.
Chloe's plan to try and get rid of as many people as possible is basically just make them do work. Like, I feel like gardening club is an excuse to, just sit around and not do anything. Like, she's going to just give people work. Just
we are weeding, we are pruning.
Yeah, it's all like, I need you to. It's like, are you finished? Like, are you finished weeding that row? All right, I need you to weed like 5 more rows. You over there, you look like a strong 14-year-old with like a strong back. I need you to carry this soil from this side of the greenhouse to that side. It's like,
You're
no,
gonna kill her.
not there. You're supposed to put it over there. Like, but don't tell them until the entire pile is moved. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if I support this bullying, but I am going to continue to allow it.
I was going to suggest making it as boring as possible as well.
I was going to see if I could psychically make them think it just smelled really bad in here all the time.
Okay. Yeah, let's, Kevin, go ahead and roll Unleash Your Powers, because that is a manipulate your environment roll. Also, Clone, I'm seeing on your sheet that you have 5 potential marked. Do you have an advancement you haven't taken yet?
Oh, I just need to unmark that. I already took the
Gotcha.
advancement last week.
Gotcha.
And my backup plan is to make them think the greenhouse is haunted.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Too bad
Dude, I can
Fury's
help with
not around to be a ghosty girl to help with that.
Yeah.
Hello. I can do it. I just can't move through walls.
You can literally turn.
I
into
can
a
just
ghost.
I can teleport through shadows and control shadows.
Just
And-
turn
yeah.
into like the fucking mummy from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Return the slab.
But
Just
okay,
say
so yes.
Slender Man.
So Kevin, you got an 8, which is a mixed success. So either you can mark a condition, or I'll tell you how it's unreliable or temporary, unstable or temporary.
I'm going to go with unstable or temporary.
Okay, so yeah. By the end of the afternoon, because there were 7 other names, only 5 of them actually showed up. 2 of them left, pretty quickly when they're like, oh, this is what they're doing. Like, they saw through the attempts and just like, I'm not going to put up with this bullshit, which leaves Math. I think that leaves the 3 left. So Jimothy and his 2 friends. And, Jimothy is a trooper and is trying to engage you all in conversation throughout. A little nervous about it, but that's just given that he is a new freshman and you all are seniors. And the other friends are clearly not doing as well with the mundane tasks, and a couple of them, wrinkle their noses and just like, and as they they tell Jimothy at various points, towards the end of the school day, anyway, but it's like, I'm gonna go, we'll catch up later, and peace out. And the right before the last one leaves, they you overhear them saying to Jim, like, don't you smell that, dude? And he's like, oh no, I can't smell anyway. I don't know what you're talking about.
Baby. Does Jimothy seem to genuinely enjoy gardening?
Yeah.
Like, Chloe's been like really going at it and like trying to get him to leave. And then like, she like sees him like moving the fucking mulch like for the 3rd time. And she just like looks over at the others and says, let's just let him stay.
Yeah, and I will say, you also notice, like, as he's tending to some of the simpler plants to care for, he is able to do some things without directions. Like, he is checking how watered they are, and checking for any leaves that need pruning. And we'll call you over and just be like, hey, I noticed this. Is this okay? And like checking for your approval, but knows his stuff for the basics.
Yeah, I think that Jimothy has grown on Chloe. Like, all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna see some weird shit, right?
Living in the city, you'll see some weird shit anyway. So
It's true.
Will he cover for us if we all just ditch and just don't show up to? Because that's the thing. Maybe we could peer pressure him into just be like, hey, look, sometimes we leave and you got to cover for us.
We're gonna go do drugs.
No.
No. Hey,
Kevin,
Raz.
you should ask him.
I should.
If
ask
we
him
go to
he
leave to do a
will cover
crime?
for us.
Yeah.
All right. Just walk over to Jimothy.
I think Roz is literally just like, why? How about we just distract him? We need to distract him or something. Why?
Because
yes.
it's gonna happen way too often.
So
All
as the girls debate this, Kevin just goes over and Jimothy is, putting some trowels away and is, taking off the gloves as it's almost time to go and, trying to brush dirt off because he got a little dirty, but he also, no, he didn't dress for the occasion because he wasn't sure he was going to join gardening club today, but, ended up here. But, hi, Kevin, right?
Yep. Jimothy, right?
Yeah, that's what it says on my ID, but Jimothy, whatever. But
You go
yes,
by Thee sometimes?
No one actually calls me that, but I just figured it's like, another thing that you could say my name as. Sorry, did you want something?
Yeah, so what are you thinking? You like the club?
Oh yeah. I've got some plants at home, and my parents always said I had a bit of a green thumb, but it's it's clear from watching Chloe that I have a lot to learn.
All right. Okay. So, Jimothy, here's the thing. Sometimes the four of us got to dip out to take care of some stuff now and again. You wouldn't rat us out, right, Jimothy? You seem cool.
Oh, y'all are a polycule. Okay, that's cool. Go
Nope,
do your stuff.
I did not say that.
Not gonna.
I
Nope,
didn't say
it's
that.
fine. I got it. You four go right ahead.
Jimothy,
I got it.
it is much more likely that we're just friends doing friend stuff. I think you've been watching too much TV.
Come on, baby. Don't be like that.
Don't let Sabrina mess with you.
I think Roz is literally laughing like me, just like.
But yeah, sure. I'm.
Whatever the reason, short of committing crimes, you're cool with just not ratting us out.
Yeah, how much trouble would we get in anyway? I don't know if there's punishments for not going to clubs. No offense, but this seems like it's a pretty chill club, and like wait, am I gonna get in trouble if I don't show up?
Jimothy, haven't you heard of the crop cops?
The who?
The crop cops make sure that gardening clubs are on the up and up.
Okay. So I'm more saying, like, if we dip out and like the next day someone was like, hey, were they at gardening club, you will say yes.
Oh. Yeah, I think so. I can't imagine why I wouldn't.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
All
fuck
right.
the police.
Again,
Language.
not the police.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, you're right. You're right, Jimothy. Absolutely. So
You cab all the way, baby.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Is there anything else? Because I do kind of gotta get home. I gotta head over to the elementary school and walk my little sister home.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll see you all tomorrow. Is this a daily club or?
Chloe, is this a daily club?
It's kind of self-paced. Like, we meet weekly officially, but like you can dip in and check on your plants anytime.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably be by tomorrow, and I'll have some questions for you if that's okay. But yeah, like I said, checks the watch. I've got to get going today.
Just remember to lock up the tools when you're done, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
He is not chugging a beer as he leaves. That was just Alex.
He's like, nice.
Just a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, so like these guys are cool.
Pulls it out.
Your crimes have been covered from my crimes.
In before
Wow.
Timothy starts a pot farm while y'all are gone. I mean, what?
Incredible.
Probably legalized by now, right? It's fine.
Almost certainly,
Yeah.
yeah. But still a controlled substance. Y'all
Yeah,
still
probably
your
can't
brains
sell
are
it to
still
minors.
developing. Yeah.
Although-
Anyway,
After Google, I do want to know what Roz thinks about coming back to school, as apparently in Spain they're done with secondary education at 16. So you've been done with school for 2 years.
I was actually thinking about that, and also the fact that I don't even know if Roz's mother let her go to public school.
Oh.
that's probably
Aw.
fair. Yeah.
You
So
never
this
got
was
an
probably
education.
her first, only, and last, last, and only experience with public school, which is
Fair.
also probably why she's going so hard. Like, I'm gonna be the freaking most popular.
Mhm.
God.
I've seen
grew up-
TV.
she grew up watching like American shows about like what high school was like, and she's like, that right there, that's me.
She's
But
the new
you-
Sabrina.
She's so well dressed.
Yeah.
She showed up thinking it was TV high school.
I think as soon as Jimothy leaves, Sabrina just shifts into her alien form and like lays back in the same position, just with both of her back like both sets of back legs are crossed, and she's kind of just like leaning over the railing and looking out at the city. I don't know if Roz has seen her as an alien before.
Has Kevin seen her as an alien
No.
before yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
sounds
yeah, no,
right.
this is almost certainly Roz's first time. So you see this like alien centaur almost, like ape centaur.
With a rhino-like skin and a very flat, almost hammerhead-like face.
I like the idea that Roz was like, bye, Timothy, turns around and is like, there's no reaction from Chloe and Kevin, and so it's like, I think she's seen Sabrina shapeshift before, but not like, I'm an alien now. So I think Roz takes a minute to be like, is this a joke? Is this like just a random, like, I'm gonna look like an alien I made up now? And it's like,
now we're trying to
algebra-
get you to leave gardening class.
algebra meme. I have to be here. They agreed that I have to be part of the group.
She's an alien. You knew she was an alien, right?
Yeah. No, I did. I'm saying like I know it sounds like I didn't. I did.
Why
was
would
implied.
Why would aliens look like people? Not to say that aliens aren't people. Like, why would they look like humans? You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of like the crab evolution thing. I think I was just like assuming
Heck,
that like
I don't even know if this is what she looks like normally. She might just do this because she wants to. I don't know. She's Sabrina. She does stuff
You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like.
like that.
this is the ideal female body.
Unrealistic expectations.
Well, I like it. Wash
Just
his
a
hands.
low gurgle. It's like a
wet
like a
dust
tiger chuff.
Oh, I like that way better than what I said.
Like a wet fart.
I think Roz just like immediately like takes a second to be like, I'm acclimating. Then it's like, okay. She's seen some weird shit. I mean, she accepted Kevin instantly. So.
Yeah.
So do we have like an assignment today, or do we have to like patrol?
You know that they are still a bit hesitant because this is, still only a couple weeks with Roz joining. And so there have been a few days where they have sent the rest of the squad out on patrols and have had Roz come into HQ to do some more evaluations and
I've
such.
been grounded. Rude.
Yeah, and there is still a bit of like, so are you sure you haven't spoken to your mom in 2 years or however long it's been?
Super sure.
Yeah. So unfortunate, but they're doing their due diligence and then some.
Yeah.
And
Everybody take a drink.
yes, water break. I am out of, liquid over here, but that's fine. I'll get something later. But yeah, you do know actually that you specifically do not have an assignment today because the leader of the Paladins, Amna, is finally getting into town and would like to speak to your squad about your run-in with Mr. Master. And I did not do enough to practice my British accent for this, but we'll go with it. So,
Are we
you do
going
know
in
that
costume?
you don't have to. You know that this would just be in Paladin's HQ in the evening. And yeah, it's just like, yes, this is when we currently Amna's schedule is free at that time, but she is also the premier superhero in the world, and so may have to rush out to do something. But so it's like, yes, make sure you are there at this time. We will let you know if she is running late, but we don't want to, mess up with her schedule if we can avoid it.
So if Amna's the premier hero in the world, what does she look like?
So her outfit is. I had this conversation with someone to help me iron it out, and that conversation's too far gone in DMs. It would take forever to get to it again. But basically, she has a streamlined medieval knight look, but also like cyber tech and futuristic, and has like seems like it's almost an Iron Man symbol, or not symbol, but like light in the chest, which will kind of glow and change colors as she manipulates different energies. And her outfit does have a cape on it, but it's really like a I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's like a memory fabric in the way that like Batman's cape is supposed to be able to just like snap into a position, and like she can manipulate that into a variety of shapes. It's not like she can just make it whatever shape she wants, but it is extremely versatile. But
love it. I asked because I need to know if she looks super cool and like hot and powerful and badass, because I needed to fill my last slot for the Scion playbook, and she's going to be Roz's personal idol.
Yes, and she does plenty of public appearances because she is this world's Superman, and so when she takes off her helmet, she is, appears to be a youngish woman of indeterminate age, white, perfect blonde hair that she usually keeps in a braid. Yeah, that's the most of it. I didn't get as far as figuring out her eye color because
none of us have ever been that close to her. That's fine.
Yeah. But seems surprisingly petite for the suit of armor that she wears.
Is it like a mini Gundam?
Sort of. I mean, it not that much disparity, but like, she's got big chunky, or it's not super chunky because again, it's a streamlined knight outfit, but still it's like, oh wait, she looks like she would be surprisingly frail, and like you could just snap her like a toothpick, but that she has tussled with the strongest of them and has come out with nary a scratch on her.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you also gathered that given her abilities to manipulate energies, including kinetic energies, she doesn't technically need like muscle mass, because she can just like do whatever she wants with the energy.
God, I wish that were me.
Yep. But yeah, so you do know that so you have an appointment with her this evening, and Roz, you are invited along as well, even though you were not there for the Mr. Master confrontation, but because, in the interest of squad cohesion and things like that.
Can't leave me unattended.
Yeah, and it's just like, they figure, they at some point, Omna is going to be doing like a presentation and a meet and greet with, all those in the Paladins in Port Arbor. Though not all at once, because that would be, a perfect time for the villains to strike, obviously. But, because Mr. Master is in Port Arbor now, as far as people know, Omna is now in Port Arbor until, that situation updates. But, so yeah, it's just like, well, okay, you're gonna get to meet her eventually. We'll just, you'll deal with the rest of the squad now, but you are gently reminded, like, hey, you should take a back seat for this meeting. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just pulling up a thing so that I can help with my British accent that she is supposed to have and that I cannot do exactly. But yeah, so you head to Paladin's HQ. It's approaching shortly after sundown, and you even know, like, as you have been making your way there, and you still listen to the radio, or you get notifications pushed to your phones constantly, like Omna in Port Arbor, and what does this mean? And Mr. Master hasn't been cited, and and the sort of things that she is all over the news. She has made some appearances and like has spoken with the mayor and done some interviews already. And just doing what you know by now to be her normal shtick of just like, I'm here to protect the people of the city, and you have nothing to fear while I'm here. But you get to Paladin's HQ. You are directed to the room to go to wait, and on the dot of when your meeting with her is set to begin, she, knocks on the door, or there is a knock on the door to the conference room, opens, and in walks Omna. And she is in kind of what you gather is basically like, she has her normal hero outfit, then she has essentially like the Zero Suit Samus version. So like the stuff she wears underneath the armor. I see that face, LB. Yes.
You did too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, if you know, you know. But she is just like, oh, greetings, squires. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. I'm sure you must be very busy yourselves, doing a great work protecting the fine people of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
We're in our civvies, right?
Yes.
I don't think
Unless
Roz
someone wanted
is.
to dress up.
Yeah, I'm full fragment so that she can fangirl silently from behind a full mask.
All right.
Yeah.
But
I'm not wearing the
else is
safety
civvies.
vest, but yeah.
But your spikes are also not out, I assume.
Yeah.
Subrina is the taller, slimmer Corvid with the hair, just no mask on, which is actually kind of weird because she forms herself with the mask on, and then she remembers like, oh, I don't, and then forms herself, like doesn't remember what her lower face looks like in this form because she never forms it. She just
All right.
uses the gas mask to speak.
So we're gonna go half and half here a little bit. Chloe will suit up as Hemlock, but take her hat off
Okay.
and just like hold it in her lap.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so she, goes over to the side of the room where there's, a water cooler, and gets one of the little paper cups and gets herself something, and is like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. Would any of you like some water?
No.
I'm good, thanks.
Good, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Takes, has the little cup of water, finishes it, gets, refills it, but then goes and brings it to the table and sits down. And I'm terribly sorry that it's taken this long for us to be able to meet. But as you know, and I'm sure that obviously you have been debriefed. I have read the reports already of your run-in with Mr. Master, but I would like to hear it again from your mouths, if you would be so kind.
Just remind me real quick out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Is Flint in a coma or did he move?
He's since moved,
Okay.
essentially in witness protection at this point, because the last text you got from the number you had for him was the trench coat spy emoji, the facing the clouds emoji, the ninja emoji, the shushing face emojis, just all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, have you talked to Flint yet?
Yes, I did encounter his family on the as I was making my way here to Port Arbor, and a lovely lad. Unfortunately, I can't tell you where he is for security purposes, but he seemed to be doing fine. He misses you all terribly, but yes,
I don't see if there's much more that we could tell you that he hasn't already told you.
Well, I'm trying to put this as delicately as I can. I'm sure you are quite aware of how your friend Flint is, and I would like to hear the accounting of events from your perspectives as well.
The tea is hot today.
I understand that this may be bothersome for you, given that you have done this with Athenas and the others of the Port Arbor Paladins prior to my arrival, but given my personal connection with Mr. Master and our run-ins, it is very helpful for me to hear first-hand accounts of run-ins with him. And again, kind of stepping out of character, we don't have to roleplay this. We can just say that y'all tell her everything, or if there are certain things that you would like to keep hidden, let me know what that is. But
For sure. Chloe just stays quiet for the most part and lets the others explain. And definitely doesn't mention that she took on Mr. Master head on and tried to absorb his power.
So remind me, was that something that you told the other paladins about?
I don't think she would.
Yeah, though I imagine one of the others mentioned oh yeah, and Chloe's vines did something and didn't instantly, so they obviously don't understand exactly what happened, but it's just oh yeah, the vines didn't instantly disintegrate, which seemed odd, but yeah, she does not bring it up as the others are recounting things. Did others have details they wanted to add or omit in the retelling here?
I wouldn't omit anything, but I would definitely pitch any theories I've come up with on how Mr. Master's stuff might work.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm being very technical and just and this happened and probably almost verbatim whatever was written down what I said before.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Which she does seem very appreciative of, and will kind of engage with you on some of the theories of yes, we have tried that, and it's, there's certainly good thinking, but unfortunately we have just debunked that and things like that. But we can get into more of that in a second if there's specifics you would like to go over. But Subrina, you were starting to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that Subrina will describe how taking the light felt, absorbing the light, or, all that sort of technical stuff that she's already discussed with Kevin, but more feeling based, I felt like it was kind of tearing me apart a little bit, but I was able to get some of it and reflect it and all that stuff.
Sure. Okay. So, were there specific theories you wanted to run by Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, just like very specifically the energy negation and stuff like that, and that there must, like, he must be a substance, like even particles that don't interact with mass are a particle in our universe. So he's something.
Yes, and it is, unfortunately, we haven't been able to, capture a sample for analysis in a lab. It only seems that I am able to negate his abilities is because of years of practice with my own superpower and just the innate manipulation of energies harmful to me at this point. I would not be where I was if I had to consciously think about the use of my powers all the time now. So, because I am able to do it without thinking, his energies are not able to affect me, certainly not to the degree of which he can affect others.
So you would know if what you were doing to him was like adding or taking away from his base energy state?
Yes, and that does tend to be what causes him to ultimately flee locations, is when we do meet up and I am able to get close enough to him to attempt to absorb his energy. That is when I get a little bit of it, but then he weakens and flees and doesn't show up anywhere for days, weeks, months.
So yeah, it throws a big, I mean, that's probably the biggest wrench in my plans, or in my thoughts, of that he could maybe be at like such a low energy state that he's just taking energy, but if you were able to absorb it, then...
Yes, well, I'm no scientist myself, but as I'm sure you know, in this crazy world of ours, that not everything follows the laws of physics as much as we would like it to.
How much does he follow the law? Have we tried to do the double slot experiment on him?
Unfortunately, I do not think he is that willing a participant. He certainly is not consented to any experimentation.
We just have to have the slots in the same room as him. If he gives off light.
Perhaps if we can figure out a way to lure him anywhere, I will see if we can get some slots inserted into the room somewhere, but I trust you will understand if it is rather low on our priority list.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know what that would tell us. It would just tell us that he is a part of the quantum wave function, which I don't know how important that is.
Kevin.
Yeah?
Calm down.
Okay.
But thank you all. This has been very informative. And kind of glances at the clock on the wall. Unfortunately, that is all the time that I have for tonight, but yes, Miss Subrina?
I was just wondering if I could have an autograph.
She kind of chuckles. Yes, of course. And we'll kind of take one of the notepads that's just like on the conference table for general use, and we'll just like, would you prefer this addressed to Subrina or to Corbin?
Sabrina's fine. Subrina.
I know.
Oh.
But I don't know if Alex conveyed the tone correctly in attempting to do the accent, but it was extremely pleasant. It was not condescending at all.
Yeah.
I know what your name is.
I got it.
No, I found that very sweet.
Yeah.
Yes, but to Subrina, you are out of this world.
Aww. While she's signing, Chloe, who's been quiet for most of this time, like just sort of looking down at her hat, says, "Can I ask you a question?"
Of course.
How do we fight him?
Well, it seems that whatever you did before, you escaped mostly unharmed, which is far more than most can say. Though I can also say that it is clear to me from the reports that he was holding himself back. So, obviously the official line is, if you encounter him, run, flee, get to safety.
Right, because you're the only one who can fight him.
Regrettably, yes, but
Well, what happens if something happens to you?
Well, there are certain preparations in place for that, though for security reasons I can't discuss them with you. But I know that this may just seem cheesy and corny and it's me playing a part, but rest assured you have nothing to worry about anything happening to me. And I know that that may seem like a load of bollocks, but, well, it's worked this far, hasn't it? And I don't suspect that there's anything that he can throw at me that I won't see coming, so.
You can say that to Flint. She'll just stand up and leave.
Ma'am, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, but this really must be the last one.
I
must be on my way.
Of course. Why do you do what you do? You're the most powerful person on the planet besides Mr. Master, and I just kind of always wondered why you're on the side of the angels.
Because there will always be people like Mr. Master and other villains out there. There will be people who abuse their powers and privileges, and there need to be those who saw that opportunity and decided, no, that's not how things should be. And that we need to stand up and protect those who are powerless themselves, who don't have the privileges and capabilities that we do. And I am still just one woman, but I like to think I have done the best that I can.
Thanks. Sorry.
Of course, Miss Fragment. Now, if you'll excuse me, I do need to get going, but I believe there is a briefing scheduled later this week, which I will see you all there for, but for now I do need to head out, so please excuse me. And she will stand up and head to the door.
Was she wearing her armor or just her, like,
she was in her
zero?
Like the zero suit, yeah.
Okay.
As soon as the door closed, Subrina just goes, looks at the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. Before we go on break, Chloe, did you go anywhere particular? Were you waiting to see Amna come out, or were you just heading off?
No, she just left. You don't stick around after saying something like that.
Just
Sure.
outside the door.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Oh wow, we're walking in the same direction. Oh.
yeah. But that said, we are at about the halfway point, so we're going to take our break here. We're going to make sure that we have refresh our beverages, do some stretch, maybe get a little snack, that sort of thing. So we'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Internet. We have returned. We are refreshed. At least I assume we are. I obviously can't actually speak for my four friends here, but I trust that they are competent adults who are able to take care of business in the 10 to 15 minute break. If y'all didn't have water, I'm after this call, I'm gonna start driving to your houses and bring a funnel and one of those big water cooler things. Anyway, that's ended up sounding a lot more threatening than it was meant to be. Make sure you're hydrating, kids.
The funnel's for your water bottle.
Yep. But yeah, so we are back. We're gonna pick up more or less right where we were because freeze frame people over break mentioned that there were some roles that they would like to have done towards the end of that scene. Oh, no, break screen is still up. No, I'm seeing it. Screen. Chat, y'all might need to refresh. I don't know if you can hear us or not. But yeah. Anyway, so freeze frame. There was a couple of requests. So the main one is that Amna was telling you kind of how stuff works and exerting her influence as an adult over you all. And so when someone with influence over you tells you who you are or how the world works, accept what they say or reject their influence. If you accept what they say, I'll adjust your labels accordingly. If you want to keep your labels as they are, you must reject their influence. And if you attempt to do that, that's a roll, and we can get to that. But let's just do a quick show of hands. Who accepts what Amna was saying about the way things are? Okay, so for the three of you, bump your savior up by 1 and your danger down by 1. Kevin is not pleased at this turn of events. But the labels are always in flux. Just a reminder that is how this system is meant to be played. The labels are an ever-changing, ever-shifting version of how you see yourself.
And failed rolls mean advancement.
Exactly. So even if like your playbook is built around one label and it's for some reason at a -2, because maybe you've swapped your stats around a bit, that just means you are more likely to gain potential and get more advancements and stuff. Now that said, it appears that Chloe is attempting to reject the influence that Amna has over her.
I think this is the first time I've ever done this.
Yes, so there is a reject someone's
for it.
influence roll. Yes.
Right above the flat 2d6 button.
Exactly.
All right, should I just hit it?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go for it. Bop and bop. That's an 8.
Okay. So
it's a hit.
yeah, so on a hit, you successfully hold to yourself and tune them out. On a 7 to 9, you get to choose one. Clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong, which we can kind of go back and do something if that's one you want. You can shift your own labels 1 up, 1 down, your choice, or you can cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
I'm gonna say mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong, and the act was mouthing off.
Okay. I'm trying to think if that's enough or if we would need a little bit more. Because Amna is aware that y'all are still teenagers and is used to that kind of behavior. No, maybe it'll be okay because that option, she is still going to have influence over you. The only way to remove her influence from you would be to do the cancel influence option. But yeah, for just this moment, yeah, you can, mouth off, feel like you stuck it to her, and so yeah, that is acceptable. Okay. Yeah. Were there any other freeze frame rolls that we wanted to handle? Right. Yes.
Me.
Roz, what did you want to do?
So when I asked her what her motivation is as a hero and why she do what she do, I didn't realize it at the time in so many words, but I was trying to pierce the mask, and I'd like to roll for that.
Yep. So go ahead and roll plus mundane.
Will do.
Which is good that you got that bumped earlier.
Oh yeah. Yes, full hit, 11, baby.
So yes, on a 10 plus, you get to ask 3 of the questions. What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? How can I gain influence over you? What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? And for the folks at home, this was during the conversation when Roz asked Amna why she's on the side of the angels. And Amna was like, there are always going to be abusers. What we need are people who saw that possibility and decided that that was wrong.
Yes. So most importantly, I want to know how could I gain influence over her?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know. Well, she sort of told us what she wants us to do. when Chloe asked like, how could we fight Mr. Master? She was like, don't.
Well, should I maybe
What?
answer the influence question first and
Please.
then let you? So, in order to gain influence over Omna, first you need to show that yes, you are a hero, especially given your dubious past, which is, she understands is largely not your fault, but that is still a thing that you have to contend with. And so you need to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are a hero, because you more than most have been exposed to that side of abusing the powers, and you need to show that you are categorically rejecting that. So if you can do that, then you will be able to gain influence over her.
That makes total sense. Okay. So basically, I think I'm just trying to like dovetail in her answering my question like she did. Like one of these questions got answered.
Sure.
So like, I don't know.
And you don't have to ask all three. And you can even come up with some that aren't on the list, and we'll determine how, valid they are.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what is your motivation? I'm just going to pretend that was one of the options. And then I actually do want to know what she's really planning, because it was kind of alluded to during the conversation that she's like, oh, for security reasons, I can't tell you like all these contingency plans and things. And like, don't worry about me. I'm not going to die. Oh, what is she planning though?
Yeah. So for that, it is very much like she is, despite her trying to be, trying to level with you all and be honest, she is still supremely confident in her ability to handle Mr. Master, and not just Mr. Master, any villains that come her way. And she is just so sure of herself, but also is a logical, reasonable enough person. And it's like, yes, there could be, and kind of in what you were saying to Kevin, like this world of ours doesn't always follow all the rules. So it's like, okay, there could be something out there that could stop her. And in that case, yes, she has made plans with others within the Paladins organization of like, if something happens to me, y'all need to step up in this way. These are the sorts of things that need to happen. And so you get the sense that even though she is, 100% confident that nothing's going to happen to her, she has also, taken the necessary precautions.
Nice, I'm satisfied, thank you.
Cool. All right. Were there any other freeze frame questions or roles people had? All right. So, it's, the sun has set by the time you leave Paladins HQ. You do have school tomorrow still. Anything y'all want to do as teenagers, or are you just going home and getting a good night's sleep, ready for the next day?
I mean, I don't think we need to role play it out, but I do think that over the summer and still continuing, pretty frequently, Roz is trying to make a spell to help get Kevin back to human shape. So that's what she do before beddy bye.
Okay. Is there one of your playbook moves that maybe do something with this, or?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
this is just a thing that David and I had talked about, like just character fun, interactive thing of like Roz trying to help her back.
Yeah, just trying to think if there is something more specific to do other than let's see. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the moves on your sheet, since yours is from one of the extra books. I'm less familiar with it, but yeah. Okay. So we'll just say that this is a freak roll, because you are unleashing your powers, manipulating your environment, or looking at your labels, I was going to say it could be freak or superior. I imagine you would prefer freak.
Oh,
given
yes.
the current numbers, unless you wanted to go wrong and have potential happen.
No. And I mean, I don't imagine that she tests them on Kevin. It's just more of like, she might be like sort of testing parts of them. Like, does this even do what I think it'll do? Like, if I put these words together in this way, what's their effect?
Yeah. And I mean, you do know, given your own regeneration, like your mother used you as a guinea pig all the time. You could do stuff on yourself and eventually you'll get back to, your base state.
Yeah, that's true. She probably uses herself. That's a really good point. She probably uses herself as a guinea pig. All right, here we go. Rolling freak. 8.
Okay, so as per usual, either mark a condition or I'll tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
I'm going to mark a condition.
Okay.
And I will think about which one.
Sure.
I don't know off the top of my head.
So, I'll say that, correct me if I'm wrong, David, but you don't technically know what kind of metal Kevin is, or do you have like the alloy nailed down chemically somewhere? Maybe
no,
you don't, but maybe the character does.
I don't know if the character does, since it's indestructible. I don't think he has any samples of it.
Yeah, so that's perfect for this, and so it makes it a lot harder, Roz, for you to be like, well, I don't know if this is the right metal, because you are trying to do, some transmutations, and maybe you're just, popping off a pinky at a time or something, and it's like, at this point you are practiced enough to realize the difference between, oh, your spell has taken effect, versus, oh, your body is just regenerating and repairing itself. And so you spend a few hours ignoring your normal person homework to do your magic homework here and turn, one of your digits into various kinds of metals and figuring out like, okay, and now it is the magic that is returning it to flesh and not just the your inherent regeneration doing it.
Oh no, I got stuck like this.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
Yeah, but no. So again, you have no idea if this is going to work on Kevin's metal, but at least you have the starting idea of maybe this can work.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to mark hopeless because, like, I feel like hopeless is too strong, but none of the others are really quite right. Like, not really guilty, but I think she's starting to feel like, especially with a talk with Amna today, like, I'm never going to be that good. Like, I'm not good enough to help Kevin. Like, I wasn't here for him when this happened. I'm a shitty friend.
I think the only reason you're marking hopeless is because disappointed is not a condition.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, if disappointed were a condition would never get unchecked.
Disappointed.
Okay. Just taking some notes.
I think
I'm just imagining like this. It's like a teenage bed. You're doing this in your bedroom, right? Just teenage bedroom with like all kinds of language dictionaries just laid out all over the place. Notes, things written backwards and forwards.
And
Have you
by
tried
my
mixing languages.
Yeah, actually, Kevin suggested that earlier in the summer, I think, like at our last episode. And Ross was like, I never have actually. So I think she has been trying to do that, but it has to be like, I think that might be part of the reason why it's taking so long, why she's failing, not because it's also super complex, but like there's something about you have to match syntaxes perfectly. It can't just be like literally any word in any language. Like it has to flow.
Yes, actually makes sense.
And by Ross's bedroom, you mean one of the guest rooms in Kevin's house.
Incredible.
That she has appropriated.
Yeah, it's your bedroom now. It's not like I was having a million guests over. So that's
Well, I mean, when the polycule has their sleepovers, you're gonna have enough room.
Timothy, stop with the friend fiction.
yeah. It's getting weird, Jim.
If it's real people, it's weird, guys.
Yeah, that's a weird category on AO3. Anyway.
Sabrina's gonna try to track down Chloe at some point. Well,
Sure.
not at some point, but like after.
I
Where'd
want to say
Chloe
that
go?
Chloe is at the library. Like does the school has a library, right?
Yes, but it is still, you're not able to get there after school hours,
Right.
unfortunately.
Okay. Well, she'll go to a public library. Like doing homework to some degree.
Mhm.
I mean, it is the first day of school, so there probably isn't any homework.
Yeah.
But what she's actually doing is like looking up articles on Mr. Master and like research papers and like trying to like kind of figure him out. And like as she's doing this, like I want to say that we see her like close her eyes and we hear Amna talking about like how she uses her own powers and the only reason that she's able to stand up to Mr. Master is because like she's able to use her powers without thinking. And Chloe like stands up, goes outside, like she's in nature. She's like, trying to like breathe and like without thinking. Use them without thinking. And like she's just gonna try and like do that.
That's great, because as you do that and try and empty your mind and try not to, consciously control your powers, you hear a voice in your head saying, "What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You're not that good yet."
Oh, it's mean. That's
I'm-
sorry, that's out of character.
Mhm.
I think internally she just lashes out.
Yeah. Is that purely internally, or do you like to, suddenly activate your powers and do something, or?
I'm imagining she like it's like when someone is trying to like, I don't know, meditate or like concentrate on something like really difficult, and then like gets distracted suddenly and just goes like ugh, and like stops. But when she opens her eyes and looks around, like the lawn she was standing on, like there's just like a circle of dead grass around her.
Mm-hmm. Well, way to go. You went and screwed that up. You've been doing so good, but you're not there yet. You gotta exert more control before you can just, let your powers do the work for you.
I think Chloe meditates on that, and goes back into the library, ruminating.
Okay.
She believes that this is an internal monologue.
Yeah, though the bit that you heard tonight is slightly different. Like I'm not gonna say what Chloe does or doesn't believe, but there is the seed of potential reasonable doubt that maybe that's not you, but maybe you're just thinking too hard about what Amna said.
All right. I think she's been dismissing it as internal monologue, but the problem is nothing that's been said isn't something that she can't justify herself thinking to herself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem with negative self-talk. But it's about this time that Subrina shows up at the library, I assume, or how do you track her down? Do you text her? How does this happen?
We have don't we have sharing on? Location sharing?
Yes, that has canonically been stated in the past.
Mm-hmm. But after y'all used it to track Chloe down before, Chloe, have you turned it off?
Oh.
She wouldn't turn it off unless she wasn't trying to be found.
Okay. But now that is a thing you are aware of for your vigilante.
I think Subrina shows up while Chloe is meditating on something, and she just has Froyo sets something down and kind of slides it toward her and just waits for Chloe to it's like eats, but just waits for Chloe to acknowledge her presence.
Right. So like she shows up while her eyes are shut, and then like Chloe just oh. Sorry, I didn't notice you. Or is that Froyo?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Grabs.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you doing okay?
As well as I've been. Kind of got a little intense there. That thing.
I don't know. I get kind of irritated with everyone telling us, you know, like, don't face Mr. Master, run away from Mr. Master. He's always gonna beat you. You can't get away from him. The only person who can fight him is on the blah blah blah. Like, it's not very helpful when he's right there in front of you and, you know, there's nothing else that you can do.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, adults kind of suck.
I mean, adults want to think that they've got everything together, but they don't.
Mm-mm.
Like, they don't. There's a million things outside of their control, and they want you to believe that they have it all under control.
Do you feel like things are out of your control?
I guess.
Like, adults telling you what to do all the time. Your disease. Your powers.
You're getting all introspective all of a sudden.
Froyo does that. Makes you think. All the sugar.
She like stuffs some froyo in her mouth.
I didn't mean
Just
to
gives me
finish
brain
this,
freeze.
but now I am.
Yeah, no, she just stuffs some into her mouth and says, just gives me brain freeze.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things out of a lot of people's control, and I find that controlling what I can helps with the things that I can't control. And also breaking things.
There's not a lot of things that we can break.
Was that circle in the dead grass, was that you?
She like looks around. Oh. Yeah, that was probably me.
Well, I think that, you know, we have each other, and, you know, we'll be done with school soon. And, you know, depending on what happens with my stuff, at least you'll have Kevin, and Roz is pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that part is pretty cool. You know, just trying to deal with all of the overarching doom, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you miss Flint, I assume.
I don't miss Flint.
I miss Flint.
Sorry.
It's okay. I got Gareth.
Sure do. How's Gareth doing anyway?
He's good. He really enjoys Destiny 2.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got this thing called a Titan. It's I don't really understand. I can't really do the control things.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I played Destiny 2 for a little while, but like it got too grindy for me.
Yeah, I can get that. But basically, we've just been flying around. He's starting to understand my language, which is pretty cool. Like, not
Really?
like that he could speak it, but like he understands like basically the grunts and stuff, what they mean.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. You can have
Mhm.
like a sort of like a Han and Chewie thing going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
But you could come over more if you wanted to. And we still have our bet that we have to work out.
You've got a really good memory.
You don't remember our bet?
No, I mean I do remember our bet. I thought that maybe you would have forgotten. Just a lot of stuff has happened.
Well, I mean, it's not every day I get to kiss my best friend, so maybe I'm looking forward to it.
Things we can control.
Exactly.
All right. I'll try and focus on that then.
Really?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't thinking about kissing. I was just thinking about things in general.
Oh. Okay.
Thanks for being my friend.
Thanks for being my friend.
I know I don't always make it easy.
Sometimes there's a friend who's the one who reaches out more, and sometimes there's a friend who just needs you to be there.
Yeah.
And just remember that if you do need me, I'm available.
All right. And our phones are always like, just broadcasting where we're at, so
Exactly.
it'd be real easy to just show up.
Yep. And I can fly, so I could just go wherever.
Yep. I can't do that, but it's close.
Yeah, that whole traveling by Vine thing is really cool.
I left all my stuff inside the library, and I should go grab it before they close.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You want to go for a walk? Sorry, that's left over from the Flint thing. Do you want to go to the pier?
You know what? Why don't you just I was just gonna walk home. So like why don't you just walk me home and you can like call your spaceship. You like live at home now, right? You're home.
You mean my spaceship or like the house?
Like are you still living in the spaceship or are you in like, a people house?
It's kind of like every other night sort of thing. Depends on how I'm feeling.
Right. So, okay, well like tell me about like phoning home is going and like they'll just chat as they walk home.
Mm-hmm.
Catch up.
Yeah. It does sound like y'all were doing some comfort and supporting each other, or maybe even sharing vulnerabilities. If y'all would
That
like
sounded
to roll some
awful
moves.
lot like that.
So yeah, when you comfort or support someone, roll plus mundane. On a hit, they hear you and you get to do stuff. This is one of the few moves where nothing happens on a miss.
Mm-hmm.
Though I did just kind of generally, someone pointed out the other day that with Powered by the Apocalypse systems, which this is, technically it's my prerogative to do a hard move if you roll a miss, but I'm only so much of an asshole. So.
Oh boy. Oh, I rolled. So I have the best of them. When you comfort or support someone by telling them how they exemplify the best parts of Earth, roll instead of freak instead of mundane. I rolled a 6 though.
Yeah. Well, so you get to mark potential for that miss.
Yes.
But no extra benefits.
Okay. I think that Chloe shared some vulnerability there.
Okay. So what is your vulnerability move?
The Doom playbook wants you to ask if they honestly think if there's hope for you. I feel like we always rub wrong against this. It specifically says, when you share vulnerability or weakness with someone, give them influence over you and ask if they honestly think that there's hope for you. If they say yes, mark potential or clear one box on your Doom track. If they say no, mark a condition or mark one box on your Doom track. I personally think it'd be weird if a character kept on saying, like, do you think there's any hope for me?
Yeah, so it doesn't
like
need
after
to be
every
doesn't need to be as verbatim, but we can kind of say just like generally given what the conversation was and the the vibes that Subrina was going for. But first, let's resolve it giving Subrina influence. I assume you already have influence over Chloe.
Yes. According to my notes, it says I am influenced by Subrina.
Okay. So then, Subrina, you will get to shift her labels, one up, one down.
I'm sorry, there was someone blasting music outside and I got distracted. Am I shifting labels here?
Yes, yeah, because you already have influence over Chloe, so when you already have influence, you shift labels, one up, one down.
All right. You're shifting my labels, right?
Yes, yeah, shifting Chloe's labels.
All right,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, is it the music?
No, it's the your labels. I'm gonna put your mundane up and your danger down because you're becoming more human.
Okay. Did you already do that?
I've done it.
Okay, you've done it. Why'd you say Jesus Christ to my labels?
Because you had 3 2s and then a -2 and a -1.
Listen.
Yeah, I mean that's how the labels go sometimes. And so then I'm assuming based on that, but with the vulnerability thing, I assume you are saying yes, there is hope for Chloe.
Yeah, it sounded overall
definitely.
optimistic.
Yeah, so Chloe, you get to mark potential or clear one box on your Doom track.
All right, I'm gonna mark potential.
Okay, I will point out you are currently at 4 out of 5 on your Doom track.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean you still have.
Listen, when I get
3
more
Doom
Doom, I get
signs.
more powers.
Yeah, that is the toss up with the doomed.
And like the flip side of that is if I advance far enough before my Doom comes, then I can negate it completely. So like honestly, I should just be like front loading like as much potential as possible if we want Chloe to survive.
Well, I don't know if you can negate it completely. I believe it is you get to face it on your own terms.
Essentially, that's
Yeah.
That's a potential outcome, is what I should say.
Yeah. So one of the Doom's advancements is confront your Doom on your terms. If you survive, change playbooks. Very much implying that if you don't get that and your Doom comes, you're doomed.
No, it doesn't imply it. It outright says it. Your Doom arrives, confront it, and perish.
Yeah.
So the only way to survive is to advance to the that.
Yep.
So
Water break.
I marked. Yeah. Okay. I'm good. That's all I need to do. I think. I don't think we were trying to like impose influence on each other or anything. That it was just comfort and team moves, vulnerability.
Yeah.
Checking the right
Okay.
comfort down on my little notepad
Yeah.
here.
Yep. Okay.
Those are all the social things that we need to be focusing mechanically on, which we've been doing a really good job of this episode.
Yeah. Okay, so the rest of the evening passes without issue. And we'll do a very brief kind of cut to that. Y'all aren't seeing this, but no, I wanted to go to the music tab, not the
One more side note.
Mhm.
When Chloe does all of her research on Mr. Master, she's going to like compile a list of like articles and like science reports and stuff, and send them to Kevin, just so
Okay.
that like they're like corresponding on the whole Mr. Master thing.
So, yeah, Kevin, at some point in the evening, you get an email from Chloe with all this stuff.
All right. Yeah, I'll stop what I'm doing and look at the articles and read them.
Okay. Yeah, there's some of this you've probably found on your own as you were working on your own theories. Some of it is maybe new, and I assume Chloe has added in some of her own commentary and such. And
I want to say that there's like after this point, there's going to be like an open like message, like how do I describe it? Like an open chat room between the two. Like it's a Discord channel. It's not Discord because like I don't think they have it in this world, but like they've got an open like
the equivalent
chat.
is called Harmony.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute. I love it. Yeah, she's got a harmony chat with
But it's like,
Kevin that she just
instead
like,
of a Y,
pastes.
it's double E at the end.
She just pastes Mr. Master stuff into it all the time.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Kevin, you find there's now a channel in a server that you two have.
Okay. Yeah, I'll link any research I've come across that's not on the list as well, so people can read.
I'll come up with a clever name for that chat at some point. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'm mulling on it.
Okay.
Eminem.
This does actually tie into what I was going to do. What do y'all do when you are done with your computers and devices for the evening? Are you the shut them off every night types, or
keep it on silent, but next to my head.
and to clarify, I am asking in character, not out of character.
Both.
I mean,
I think
I probably shut some of my stuff down, but like I live in an AI house. It's just computers, so a lot of those are on all the time.
Yeah.
I also live in that house, so I am subject to that as well. But I think Raza's like me, but worse because of her upbringing, and so she literally does shut down everything that she has access to.
Yeah.
I want to say that Chloe has a phone, and that's it as far as like technology goes for her specifically. Like her dad has a computer, but it's for work. So whenever Chloe needs to use an actual like PC or whatever, she like goes to the library.
Sure.
And since it's her phone, it like never gets shut off. You know, it's just on silent when she's sleeping.
Yep. And so none of you see this, but as Chloe and Sabrina are leaving the library, some of the monitors of the computers that Chloe was using flicker ever so slightly. Maybe it's just something with the refresh rate of the monitor. Who can say? But as you two break off and go to your homes, Sabrina, is this a Kirby Craft night or is this a human home night?
This will be a human home night.
Okay. So as you two, go to bed, your phones are near you on silent, in the middle of the night. It's not enough to wake you up, but the screens ever so briefly just kind of turn on, and there's like a graphic of an eye that just kind of, the pupil moves around, then the eye closes, screen shuts back off. Kevin, you will in the morning get an alert from Elena, is the name of the AI, that just there was some unauthorized query into the home's networks, but as soon as they did not receive permission, the request was withdrawn, and was good enough at covering its traces. That's like there's no way to track it. It's like bounced all over the world globally before, so no way to know where the signal originated from. And it's not too out of the, not unheard of, because that's the sort of stuff that hackers do all the time. But it's just like, she, it's included in the like, this is what happened overnight, and like these are the news stories that may be relevant to your interests.
How often does that happen to the house, Elena?
Yeah. Infrequently, to be sure. Like it has happened in the past, but often she's able to be like, oh yeah, this was clearly, someone trying to gain access to your email account or your bank account or something, and shut down the access. It's rare that the attempted incursion leaves any kind of evidence of like retreating rather than being denied, if that makes sense. And I'm sure there's more technical ways to describe it, but
yeah, someone shut it down once they realized there was resistance.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know what Z's trying to do there, so
magic, please tell me.
All right. Was there more to what you were going to say, Alex?
No, just some of the news. One of the news stories that comes across the feed is that, overnight, there was a contentious thread started on the Heroes Wiki that was asking about like kind of the synopsis that you get from kind of going through it, and like it is by the time you are awake, it has been locked by the moderators, and that has spawned other discussion threads of like, well, why are the moderators not letting us discuss this, or blah, blah, blah. But it's like essentially the point of the original post was like, what really separates the heroes from the villains?
Someone's trying to undermine the hero like way of things, huh? Like, oh, they're the same thing.
It wasn't me.
I mean, again, that is kind of the gist of it. It's if you take some time to look at it, or I guess I should ask first, do you take time to look at the thread at all, or is it just like, oh no, someone's off the rocker again?
I think I'll look at it. I probably would have dismissed it if not for the attempted incursion into the network last night, but I'll look at it.
Yeah, and so the OP is basically, it reads like someone who has read an awful lot of philosophy, but maybe hasn't synthesized it all together. It's not quite as bad as someone who is just like only uses Fight Club and the Joker and that stuff as their guiding philosophies and thinks they are the end all be all. But there are some points of what's really to stop a paladin from just snapping one day, and like what could stop them before they cause untold damage and things like that, and what is really in place to protect the civilians if a hero decides to go dark side.
Okay. It's definitely weird, but I think I'll leave it at that, and I'll go talk to Roz.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Don't mind this. My finger is melting, but it'll be back soon.
Oh,
Good morning.
good morning. Okay, so wow, that finger is melting. All right, so
Don't look at it. It's gonna be fine.
we someone tried to hack the house last night.
Is that normal? Is
Not
it?
usually, but usually when it I mean, it happens sometimes, but usually Elena like catches them, and this time they kind of tried to hack the house and then immediately stopped when it didn't work and like shut down, and we couldn't trace them. So they like bounced the signal all over the place. So they're good, is what I'm saying.
I hate that.
Is that something is your mom real tech savvy?
I mean, my mother is very savvy, and paranoid, and I think I kind of got some of that. If okay, Elena can talk, right? Elena can talk, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I talk to Elena? Can I ask her to say something real quick? Hold on. Okay, my finger's back. Hey Elena, can you repeat after me real quick?
Yes, Roz, I can do this.
Okay. Oh, who was it I saw? Oh, who?
Oh, who was it I saw? Oh, who?
Which is a palindrome in English. And I would like to cast a spell to see if I can find the hacker.
Okay. Do you have a specific move for this, or
No, I'm just casting a spell, so I guess I'm trying to unleash my powers while hopeless.
or well, let me assess the situation, maybe.
Oh, ooh, yes. Oh, my superior's -2 too.
Yeah, so we'll just do. Yeah, that's the questions
good
there
news
aren't
is
great
Kevin
either.
is there, which means that he can use power from the team pool or points from the team pool to help you out.
Yeah,
This is true.
I will
And
say.
if I were there, I could do crimes to help you.
Aw, crimes.
I will say this is more. We'll do an assess the situation roll because it is more about asking questions.
Okay, that is fair. I lied. It's only a -1, but be ready.
All right.
Oh, it's an 8.
Okay, so you get to ask one question, and we can decide if there's something that doesn't really fit here. But so, what here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? What here is most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly? None of those fit great for what I think you're trying to ask.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like in whatever system we were using for Apocrypha. I think there was one for like what is hidden from me. Like there was a question you could ask there that was like, what am I not noticing, or something like that.
Yeah, and that was just Apocalypse World, which is what spawned Be Powered by the Apocalypse system for those at home. But yes, okay, so yeah. Yeah, it is, even with the magic assist, essentially what you are able to determine is like, no, this isn't your mom. You don't need to worry about that. This was something or someone else.
Okay.
Can
I get the sense? Oh,
sorry. I want to say that like the way that this is visualized is that like you get Elena to repeat the palindrome back to you, and then like your eyes just light up, and it's like you're like accessing the mainframe and like looking for mom. Nope, not there, and then you're back.
Yeah. Do I get a sense that it's like near or far or wherever they are? Or I don't need it. I don't need any more than you gave me. But
yeah, I don't know that you could get that because they are clearly very skilled in covering their tracks. But so skilled that you were like, no, this is not your mom, and like you have done enough magic to determine that this is not a magical attempt.
Or a techno magical. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a full hit for sure. Okay, cool. I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
It's not my mom, which is
Okay.
great because it would be really, 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 really not great if she found me. Still not great though.
Yeah.
That we don't know.
So I can't imagine it's my dad because I feel like he
Can't or
would.
can't?
I can't. I feel like he would successfully. He made Elena, so I feel like he could just hack it.
That makes sense.
Uh,
Are there tech savvy villains around? I'm still not up to snuff
how
here.
out of character, Alex? How long has Amna been active as a hero?
As a hero as a whole, probably at least 20 years. And like she only looked like she was maybe in her 30s, but you also know based on some older footage, like she has looked about that age more or less her entire hero career.
Do I know if she knew my dad at all?
I don't know that you would have a way of knowing that at the moment, no.
Okay.
I mean, your dad maybe mentioned her at one point in passing because, like, even, you know, she's always been a very powerful hero, even from her first appearance. So, you know, she has always been a topic of discussion, but whether or not there is a. Well, I guess remind me, what did your dad do before he disappeared?
He was like an Iron Man person. He was like a big armor guy, billionaire dude.
Okay.
So he's literally an Iron Man ripoff. His name is Tommy Spark. So
nice.
I think you might have came up with the name because I didn't know.
Maybe. I mean, that could have been from way back when. But yeah, so yeah, you don't remember specific stories of them having worked together, but maybe it happened before you were even born. Who can say? Yeah. Any other questions you all have about this at the moment?
No, I'm just unsettled.
Yeah. Welcome to life. So you all start heading to school. And I guess, how do you all typically go to school? Are you taking public transit? Are you just flying there? Are you walking there? What methods of conveyance do you all use?
I motorcycle.
That's sure, why not?
Because I gotta be the hot foreign exchange student on a motorcycle brand.
Yeah.
Here.
Chloe always wakes up early and walks to school. Quote unquote walks, that's her story, but like she definitely suits up and just like, you know, vines.
Sure. Okay. What about Subrina or Kevin?
Subrina takes the form of some sort of animal. She walks to school as well. She always like ends up walking at the end.
Sure.
Kevin just walks to school.
Okay. So Kevin, you would probably be the most likely to notice this as you perhaps pass a store that has TVs on display in the front. And you see that there's kind of, it's got a few news stations up. You can't hear any of the sound, but you see kind of ticker tapes, and there's actually a surprising number of people standing and like watching them as you pass. But you kind of catch on the ticker tape. Seems like it's just, oh, that thread on the hero wiki has actually made at least the local news, and even maybe one of the larger networks, as they're just discussing it. And it seems like, you know, there's maybe a sense of like, oh, well, it's about time for this question to come up in the media again. It's been a while, but so, you know, up to you how much you really mark it down as something to notice, but given that it was one of the items of interest that Elena pinged for you this morning, maybe you're a little more attentive to it than you might otherwise be, but
Yeah, I think I would be.
But yeah, eventually you all make it to school, and I mean, it's, you again, there's no sound, so you can't really tell too much of what's happening. Just seems like there are some pundits going back and forth, and there's maybe at one point on one of the stations like an official paladin spokesperson, not for Port Arbor specifically, but just like for the nationwide organization that's just trying to reassure everyone, and they don't seem too concerned about it. They're just like, oh, yep, this has come again. Let's restate our mission statement, all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't seem like anyone's too concerned about it.
I might just like text Elena and be like, hey, just keep an eye on the news and maybe like correlate some data on the talking points that they're talking about with this thread that got posted last night.
Sure. Yeah, she sends back confirmation that she can do that. But soon enough, you all are in homeroom. And it's I'm just scrolling to a spot in my notes. So it's day starts out as usual. Homeroom teacher takes attendance and gives a few in-person announcements, and then it's like, and now it's time for the school's broadcast, and it starts up, but very quickly the screen glitches out, and again, you're not, well, no, because I spent the time earlier saying like it's a decent production actually, but so this is not something you would expect to be happening, and there is an image of an eye that pops up, and it's very simple. It's basically just the oval with like 3 eyelashes on top, and then the pupil, just like a solid pupil in the middle, all black and white, that the pupil just kind of is there. It's like tracking side to side, and a voice comes on that is classically technologically distorted, so you can't tell what it's actually like, and it's basically just saying that this society that we live in is one of false security. And as the voice starts, it starts going through a bunch of not stock footage per se, but like all footage that has been on public channels, and it's all stuff of various heroes and super activity, both heroes and villains. And it's saying things of like, this society worships these gods, and we live at their mercy, at their whim. And it kind of flashes to some disaster scenes of like aftermaths of big confrontations, and showing like destroyed city blocks and destruction and that sort. That it's regrettable, not necessarily casualties. I'm trying to think, collateral damage, things like that. And then after that, it will start kind of flashing through in different heroes, and it even starts on Omna. Then we'll go through some of the other paladins, others from around the country, and then it kind of starts focusing in on Port Arbor paladins. And at this point, the voice says that your heroes are not who they say they are. And it starts like going through the paladins, and then it starts going through the knights, and then it starts going through the squires. And it's not lingering on any of them, but Roz, you perhaps noticed this, that like Fragment has yet to make a public appearance as a squire, and yet Fragment is the last super to pop up on the thing. And the voice says, seek your own liberation before it is no longer possible. And then the screen will it returns to that eye. The eye blinks once, reopens. This time, as it reopens, it is rather than black and white, it is glowing, and there is depth to it, and it seems to build and get more intense. You're maybe starting to get a little bit of a headache before it kind of. It's not audible, but it's like that thing where it's like a ringing pitch that gets higher and higher and louder until it's almost unbearable, and then it shuts off. And it's you see the students who are responsible for the day's announcements being like just looking at each other, unable to like what was that? One of them does kind of like the cutting motion, and then a goofy little technical difficulty screen pops up with nervous lobsters dancing back and forth. But yeah, that is where we are going to end tonight's session. So, thank you everyone for joining us for tonight's game. I want to keep the stressful music on for just a little bit longer, but we'll go back to the happy music in a second here. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. There was a lot that happened tonight, and I'm very excited to see what y'all make of this. Maybe before, would you all actually like a brief amount of time to discuss what the fuck just happened before we break for tonight? Or
it ain't gonna be brief, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it won't be brief.
Yeah, so maybe we'll save that. Maybe we should discuss some of this anyway, we'll end the discussion on stream here, because we do have still end of session stuff that we gotta do. So let's get to doing that. So at the end of every session, choose one. Grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team. And we'll go through this. I know some of you have end of session moves you gotta do, and then we will do stars and wishes after that. So, who has some things in mind?
I got it. Okay. So Subrina grew closer to the team, specifically Chloe, in our little moments. And yes. So you have I have influence over you already. Do you have influence over me?
I do not.
Okay, so you regain your influence over Subrina that you previously had. And Subrina, you get to either clear a condition or mark potential.
Mark potential, baby.
Very good. All right. Who else knows what they would like to do?
I'll go. I grew closer to the team.
Okay. Who did you grow closer to?
I'm gonna give it to Chloe for writing Ross's name on the gardening club thing. Just be like, yeah, you're part of the fucking team, bruh. Like, you're part of this team whether you want to be or not, bruh. Which was great. And Chloe already has influence over me.
Oh, sounds like I need to adjust your stats then.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm not gonna refer. Like, I feel like I metagame a lot in this game where I go like, oh boy, I don't want to mess up your stats.
Nah, man, go
I'm
ham.
Do it. I'm gonna surrender to the chaos. I'm going to think of what makes most sense. I have to shift one up and one down.
Yep.
So if I'm looking at these objectively, you've grown closer to the team. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna shift your superior up because you've become more popular. And that just makes sense to me. And I'm going to shift your freak down.
Yes.
Because you're just growing like more. Nah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like when you're trying to improve your skills, it feels like they're worse for a while before they get better.
I think that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if I want to clear that hopeless or take my last potential to advance. I'm gonna stay hopeless, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah. And remember, comforting and supporting each other is a good way to clear conditions, and each condition also has specific things you can do to clear it. And
Alright.
hopeless specifically, fling yourself into easy relief.
I'm gonna make out with someone I shouldn't probably.
Yes.
Yeah, that does tend to be the way to do
Do
that.
it.
So looking forward to that. But yeah, so who's next, Kevin or Chloe?
I'm going to grow closer to the team.
All right. Very good. Ooh.
I think it was kind of more of just a general thing, but I think I'd give it to Roz. Just the kind of being there at the morning to be like, hey, this is going on. Is it your mom? And doing those kind of things. It was a kind of a good subtle like, okay, yeah, this is real and it's long term kind of thing.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, I assume you already have influence over Kevin, Roz, so you will get to shift labels one up, one down.
Ooh, here I go. Okay. I am gonna definitely, for sure, no question about it, I'm gonna increase your superior. You've been so smart lately and just being smart. Let's see here. What are we gonna do down? We're gonna we're gonna down the freak. We're gonna down the freak a little bit because
Okay.
Kevin's been being a bro, a very smart bro.
Some would say that smart and bro are incompatible.
No.
But this is the year 20. We're past those stereotypes at this point.
There's many a people in engineering classes I had in college that would disagree with that.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. Anyway. All right, Chloe, you ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Chloe is going to grow into her own image of herself. Specifically because she has been doing a lot of research and a lot of introspection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she's ultimately come to the conclusion that she can't wait for the adults to solve this problem, that she's gonna have to try and fix it herself. And also with her internal monologue earlier, with that internal log of indeterminate source, she's also come to the conclusion that she needs to grow stronger. So I'm going to up her superior. I'm going to lower her mundane.
Okay. All right. And then I think you're the only one who actually has an end of session move. I know some of you have when time passes moves, but so let's take a look at that. So at the end of every session, answer the question: did you make progress on defeating your nemesis? If the answer is yes, mark potential. If the answer is no, mark your doom track.
I always argue no. But I have a reason this time. She made no progress on trying to cure her illness. She's been focusing all of her efforts on other things.
Sure. Makes sense to me.
All right, I'm marking my doom track, and that fills it. So I need to pick another doom sign.
Yeah.
I'll read them. I'll read them out loud and see what you guys' input is on what would be the coolest story thing for her to have. The options are: dark visions. Mark your doom track to have a vision about the situation at hand. After the vision, ask the GM a question and they will answer honestly. infinite powers, mark your doom track and use an ability from any playbook one time. Or bolstered, mark your doom track and use an adult move one time.
And adult moves are just like improved versions of the basic moves.
What do you guys think? Versatility. I'd have to look into adult moves to know them for sure.
Yeah,
I think
same.
I'm gonna say that bolstered is the thing that I'm gonna pick last. Just because it is adult moves. Do you guys want versatility or do you want? Sorry, what was that?
Just I thought the adult moves were listed in the GM sheet somewhere. I think I need to find them in the rule book, unfortunately.
Dark visions are always fun.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
As someone who has to DM them.
Yeah. It's the most fun option. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
It
gonna
requires
go
the
with
least legwork.
I'm gonna go with dark visions. And the way that we're gonna justify this is that she's like connecting to the plants in the city, and essentially like the way that it will work is that she can like see through them. I like my best like my best image is that like, you know, like her internal vision like goes into the roots of the earth and then just like travels there and then like looks to see what's happening in any given place.
Yeah.
It's like the green with poison ivy from DC.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I did find the adult moves section in the core rulebook, and I'll just read some of the examples. And they do specify that these are essentially more powerful versions of the basic moves, but they don't actually replace the moves. Just because you can now overwhelm a vulnerable foe, that doesn't mean you can't directly engage a threat. So the adult version of Unleash Your Powers is Wield Your Powers with Precision or Grace, roll plus Freak. On hit, choose 1. On 10 plus, choose 2. Things like take hold of something vulnerable to you, create something useful from your environment, neutralize an opponent or threat, at least for now.
So it is basically the moves that you would use from your stats, but like the effects that you get from them are better.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, and a lot of you have potential advancements where you can take an adult move. Things to keep in mind. So like the overwhelm a vulnerable foe, roll plus danger. On a hit, the fight's over, they're done. On a 10 plus, choose 1. On 7 to 9, choose 2. You take a powerful blow in turn, you hurt your foe more than you intended, or you cause serious collateral damage. Things like that. Yeah, so you can read through that at your own time later.
Yep. I'm gonna put it off as long as possible.
Yeah. All right. But unless anyone else has end of session things, I think that brings us around to Stars and Wishes. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Who has their Stars and Wishes ready?
My star is freeze frames. I feel like we did a really good job today with all of our mechanics and everything. I feel like we've really gotten it all handled. And I motion to call it freeze frames going forward whenever we need to stop and like assert our mechanics and whatever.
Yeah.
As far as wishes go, that's it. We're gonna call it freeze frames now.
Oh.
That's it for me.
I want to give a star to Hot Subrina. Scary hot. That was hilarious to me. You know, scary hot. My wish is homecoming football game, but something happens. It would be a shame if something were to happen at the homecoming game.
Okay. All right. LB or David?
I will give a star. I'm going to do a star for meeting Amna. That was fun. And it was interesting to see, like, yeah, her whole deal and and yeah, what it takes to stand up to Mr. Master. That was a lot of fun. And wish is to see her more in the future, because yeah, that was it's a cool NPC and I like it.
All right, LB, you ready?
I am. My star is for Jimothy. The way he's portrayed and the sweet bean he is. And my wish is that, I guess this is a wish for me, but for that Subrina kind of switches back to pastel goth and not just goth. Gets a little bit more. Yeah, I think so too. She actually laughed.
Yeah. All right. And then for me, I mean, I think my star is going to go to the polycule joke causing Wings to laugh so hard that she had to explain to the others in her household what was happening. Always glad when I can cause reactions like that. And then my wish is, now that y'all are 18 years old in character, we need some goddamn smooches. This is like the only game on the channel that has not had smooches, and we need to rectify that.
I got you, Alex.
Or
that has not had on-screen smooches, I should say.
I'm the worst person for this. Like,
wait, no! Sabrina can't Flint kissed.
Yeah. Well, the point being that, like, for me specifically, like, my characters are always like, smooching, I don't want to smooch. I don't want to. They definitely want to smooch, and then they had no.
Yeah. Anyway, smooches. More smooches. I'm channeling my Sid if we need more smooches. All right, but yeah, that is gonna do it for us here tonight. So thank you everyone for joining us. Next time this channel should be live. Again, our schedule is a little iffy right now, so you should make sure you're following us on social media, and especially in our Discord, because we will always announce when we are doing things there. We may have something this Thursday, may not have anything again until Sunday-ish. It depends on what life is like. There's a winter storm going through a lot of the country right now and affecting many of us, so that is a factor as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Anyone got things they would like to plug or promote before we go? Okay, well, then until next time, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to my players. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.